I'm joined now by Charles Kaminski from LexisNexis. Charles, before we talk a little bit about your session from earlier this week, kind of wanted to get your input on how OSCON's been going for you.
Really enjoyed it. It's been a whole lot of fun. I got to catch a keynote speech this morning. I really enjoyed the part about BioCurious. A woman was up there talking about how to bring down the costs of certain types of biological technologies that they use in labs and so forth, and it was really a whole lot of fun. Also, there was a keynote this morning on gamification.
Oh, okay.
And I really enjoyed some of the examples that he gave. So it's been great talking to engineers and catching up with folks. And like I said, the keynotes have been a lot of fun too.
Good, good. Glad you've enjoyed it. So I have to say, the session that you did earlier this week was one of the more interesting ones that I've been to all week. And I wonder if you could tell the audience a little bit about what's going on within LexisNexis, what you guys are up to.
Yeah, sure. So I'm assuming here that you're talking about HPCC systems,
right?
And that's an offering that we have now. And the talk that you're referring to is one that Bill Fox and I gave. And it really centers around identifying potential fraud. And what we were asked to do is we were given an address, and using that address, we found a lot of information about the individuals at that address using our public records data. And we painted a picture of the individuals there based on their lifestyles, the types of cars they drove, the number of businesses that they owned, all types of other assets that you can find in public records. And it really asks the question of whether or not individuals like these should be on Medicare and Medicaid. And so then that was reported back to the state of New York, and this was all done in conjunction with the state of New York. And I think really the message here for the engineers that are here is that we took a whole lot of big data and put together a solution in a little under a month using some very complex analytics and processing. So the idea that big data is accessible to you as an engineer and that you can build solutions that can change the world, that's really what HPC Systems is all about.
So how long did it take from the point that the system was built and the analysis was started before you were able to identify some of the outliers here and some of basically the people that were conducting Medicaid fraud?
Well, I can speak to it on a technical level. Bill's really your guy if you want to talk about it on a business level. But in terms of identifying potential fraud, and from a technical perspective, we're talking about a little less than a month. And so we're not talking about all of the other things that might go into a complex project like that. But when the engineer starts putting together a system, a solution, to the end of that process where you get data out of your solution that has some meaning and some value to the business. And that's really what the exciting part of the story is.
And so everything you did on this was done with publicly available data, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay,
That's correct.
Okay. And can it be applied to other types of data like the social graph and so forth? Could you pull something like that in?
Oh, definitely. So a lot of the data that we process on a daily basis is big endian, little endian, HTML, XML, fixed width. It's structured, unstructured data, and has a lot of mistakes in it. People fat fingering all kinds of information as it's being entered at the source, and all of that has to be cleaned up. It has to be linked.
And did you do all that cleanup internally, or how was that done?
That's definitely all part of that process that you can do within the HPCC. So I should mention for the viewers, HPCC stands for High Performance Computing Cluster, and that's the system that underpins our business and has underpinned our business for more than 10 years. So it's enterprise, it's a proven technology, and now it's open source.
Yeah, so we'll talk a little bit about that, because I mean that's terrific to have it built out there in the open source world. I mean, what was LexisNexis' thinking behind that decision?
Yeah, sure. So really what that's all about is building a community of users and contributors and plugging into that community. So we're really excited to have people go onto our website, ask us questions, engage with us, engage with the engineers who built this system, and find new use cases for it. and start using that system, outside of the confines of the companies that have previously purchased our systems, or the internal users. And so that's really what we as engineers are really excited about.
Was this the first open source project for LexisNexis?
LexisNexis is such a big company. I don't think I can answer that question.
Okay, fair enough.
Yep.
All right. Well, hey, thanks again, Charles. I really appreciate it. And I want to thank Charles Kaminski from Lexis.